Wait, question. So where did Ferrari place last year? Fill me in on that, because I feel like obviously Mercedes is going to be the #1 team. What is going on, guys? It is JJ here. Oh, I'm losing my voice. But anyway, we are back with another video. Today we are looking at what are we looking at? The driver rankings. Jesus, I'm so lost. We keep ending up watching the race videos. I really do enjoy them. I thoroughly enjoy them. It's just something I felt like I wanted to learn, just so I know which drivers are on the grid for 2022, and at the same time also understand sort of how people who have watched F1 for years and years, which I'm guessing the people who run an extremely large YouTube channel like this for F1 have, I kind of want to know, how they see the rankings for the driver lineups. I feel like people have a lot of respect for the Ferrari team. Bottas leaving Mercedes sort of opens up a spot for George Russell. It should be very interesting to see how he fills in there. Obviously Red Bull is still Red Bull. McLaren with Lando and Ricciardo is still a good team. I still think Sebastian Vettel, I've grown really fond of Sebastian Vettel, especially in that Aston Martin, which I think is a gorgeous, gorgeous car. But anyway, we're going to take a look at their ranking for the 2022 F1 driver lineup. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. How you would rank it, how you would switch it. Let me know all those. But let's get into the video. As well, guys, you can obviously find the original video from the race down in the description below.
Who has the best driver lineup in Formula 1? It's rarely an easy question to answer, and in a sport where half a second can feel like an age, it's very easy for perspectives to change even when the puzzle pieces don't.
Yeah,
so even though the 2022 F1 silly season only featured 4 driver moves, compared to the vast shake-up we had for 2021, there was still plenty of ground to cover when we got our team at the race to rank the teammate pairings for the new season. As we run through the order that our combined rankings created, make sure you let us know how you rate each lineup for this year.
Haas team.
Number 10, Haas.
I feel so bad for them. And now they've lost their main sponsor and they've lost one of their drivers. The driver may not be the biggest loss, but this,
It's not a huge surprise to see Haas stuck at the bottom of the pile,
with Schumacher
one of our 10 panelists
Mazepin,
ranking the pairing of Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin in 10th place.
Unfortunate, very
The
unfortunate.
feeling among many of our team was that while Schumacher enhanced his reputation with a solid rookie season in a car that was always going to be stuck at the back, Mazepin's erratic performances weren't up to the standard that would be expected of any Formula 2 race winner who stepped up. If Haas can come up with a car worthy of fighting for points under this year's new rules, expect to see Schumacher making the best job of picking up those results. Number 9, Williams. George Russell's move from Williams to Mercedes has had an impact at both ends of our ranking. Williams has moved down a place compared to when we did this in 2021, though there is plenty of intrigue around how Alex Albon will handle his fresh start.
I don't know who that is, to be completely honest with you.
Can he achieve
Fill me in on Alex Albon. Try to keep it brief. Don't get too into details because I would like to know. Maybe we could then watch a video later, or even drop a video in the comments if you guys have any ideas that I can watch and figure out who is Alex Albon.
Red Bull's main team, or is the move to an external team that is likely to be less competitive going to scupper Albon's chance at regaining some career momentum? Wherever Williams finds itself in the pecking order under the new rules, Albon's performances against Nicholas Latifi will regularly be benchmarked against how Russell compared to the Canadian during 2020 and 21. Number 8, Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo accounts for 2 of the 4 driver changes on the grid for 2022. Mercedes to Alfa will be a bigger step down than Valtteri Bottas would have hoped for once his time alongside Lewis Hamilton was up, but unlike when this team had Kimi Raikkonen and Antonio Giovinazzi last year, there will be fewer doubts about if the car is being driven to its full potential, particularly over a single lap. Guan Yu Zhou has potential, but he arrives in F1 having already been battered with the pay driver tag, not helped by the fact he claimed the final available seat for this year when most onlookers wanted to see F2 champion Oscar Piastri get onto the grid.
What is the pay driver thing? Is that like the same way how Mazepin's dad and the oil company that they helped run was the main sponsor for Haas, or or what? How does that work? How does that work? How does that shape up?
Number 7, Aston Martin. Aston Martin's first season under its new identity was not a convincing one, and there remain doubts about the consistency of both Sebastian Vettel and Lance Stroll after a patchy first season.
I'm confident in Vettel.
Team personnel say Vettel has made a huge impact as a leader inside the team off track, but he needs to combine that with rediscovering his best form on a much more regular basis. There were some promising peaks in 2021, he just needs more of them. If he can do that, he has the potential to firmly brush Stroll aside, unless the Canadian can take a big step forward in what will be his 6th F1 season.
Damn.
Before we move on to the team in 6th place, we just wanted to start 2022 by thanking everyone who has subscribed
Big up to the race.
Channel in the
Big
first
up to the
2
race. I'm
years
subscribed.
of the race.
You see me?
Your
I'm out
support
here.
means the world to us, and we're going to up our game this year to give you even more to watch and enjoy.
Way
If
too
you're
much
not already
content.
part
You
of
guys
the
are putting
team,
out more
then make
videos
sure you
than
don't
I
miss
am.
any of that
It's crazy.
by hitting the subscribe button at any time.
I appreciate
so
it.
you can join
You guys
us
are
for
killer.
what is sure to be another
my
roller
hands.
coaster F1 season. Number 6, AlphaTauri.
Which is crazy that it's the
Fair to say
second team for Red
AlphaTauri's
Bull,
position on
essentially.
this list isn't being dictated by Pierre Gasly, who was absolutely superb in 2021 as the team's leader. But his rookie teammate Yuki Tsunoda didn't hold up his end of the bargain, so we're going into the promising Japanese driver's second season with just as many questions
I
about
think
him as we
he
had
has.
12 months
I was
ago.
going to say, I think he has a lot of
If Tsunoda
potential.
gets it together this year, AlphaTauri will have one of the most exciting driver lineups in F1's midfield.
It's all a team based on potential, I feel like, for
Number
that
5,
one.
Alpine. Suggestions in 2021 that these drivers would clash behind the scenes, or that Fernando Alonso's relentlessness would crush Esteban Ocon in the same way it did Stoffel Vandoorne at McLaren, both proved to be wide of the mark. Alonso and Ocon worked well together, pushed each other on, and genuinely contributed to each other's best results of the year by holding up a chasing rival in Hungary and Qatar respectively. The lingering question for 2022 is if that relationship was so positive because of the underdog spirit Alonso had a hand in creating at Alpine. If the car is more competitive this year, can they still get on while pushing to find that final half attempt that can make all the difference at the front?
I'm excited to see what Alonso does this year. I believe he still has a lot in him as well.
McLaren. Daniel Ricciardo's unexpectedly tough first season at McLaren makes the team's lineup incredibly difficult to judge. If the Australian is happier with the
Guys, I fully think this is Lando Norris's team. I'm saying this by just spitting out of my ass because I've watched one full F1 race, besides the races you guys have actually recommended to me. But I really do think Lando Norris has so much potential. He's one of my favorite F1 drivers. I think that I've watched so far purely because he is absolute comedy. The guy just likes to have fun. And it makes it enjoyable to actually watch F1 when you see a guy having fun like that. I hope, the same way you guys see me watching these videos, that you guys have fun. Because I have fun doing them. But yeah, that's why Lando Norris. That's why I'm thinking big shout out to Lando.
Machine, and he can operate at the same level as Lando Norris, then this becomes a partnership that can be in a discussion for any of the top 3 places.
Which I think is where they should be.
Until we get those answers, once the season gets going, even placing McLaren as high as 4th on this list feels like it requires an element of faith that Ricciardo can rediscover his mojo.
Red Bull
Number
at
3,
3?
Red Bull. Clearly Red Bull's position on this list is not placing any doubts on the brilliance of world champion Max Verstappen.
Red Bull at 3.
But while Verstappen credited new teammate Sergio Perez with playing a key role in helping him win the title,
I was going to say, he literally, which I'm guessing that's what he's about to say, Perez literally held off Lewis Hamilton for how many laps up the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix? They have a lot of potential between those two, and that Red Bull car, I think, is going to close the gap on Mercedes in terms of the Constructors' Championship.
particularly with his savvy bulking of Lewis Hamilton in the Abu Dhabi decider.
There, you
over
feel
the
me?
course of the full season, Perez wasn't as much of a factor as he should have been in helping Verstappen on a regular basis.
Well, yeah, because he's
Perez
struggling.
got more comfortable with the Red Bull as his first season with the team went on, and he became more confident in taking his own direction with setup, but too often he gave himself too much to do on Sundays by not delivering in qualifying. If the new rules for this year shake up the order and or bring the midfield teams closer to the front runners, then the penalty for underperforming on Saturdays could be even bigger than it was in 2021, when the 2 fastest cars on the grid had a clear baked-in advantage. Perez will be banking on feeling more settled at Red Bull to help him in that area, but lacking a little bit over a single lap has been a hallmark of much of his career, so it's unlikely
That
to be an easy
sucks, bro.
fix.
Really hate to see that for you, King.
Number 2, Ferrari. Ferrari comfortably topped this ranking when we did it for 2021, and the fact it has slipped down a place is no reflection on the job Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz did in their
Wait,
first.
question. So where did Ferrari place last year? Fill me in on that, because I feel like obviously Mercedes is going to be the number 1 team, but I'm not. Did Red Bull like take second and Ferrari third, or what was the order for that? But I do think Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, it's a lot of potential.
If anything, Sainz's performances were even better than some were expecting, and it's clear Ferrari has the stunning lineup we predicted would be the case.
And that's the same way I see Lando and Daniel Ricciardo going.
This combination. So any suggestions previously that Ferrari might have snapped up Sainz to be a strong number 2 have now been dispelled. Does he have that last little something special like Leclerc does to turn a half chance at a pole position, race win or podium into reality? From what we've seen so far, we can expect him to get very close.
I believe it. I want Ferrari to fight for the title. All those Ferrari heads out there.
Number 1, Mercedes.
I forgot the name of them.
Ferrari moving down a place wasn't a reflection on the Leclerc-Sainz pairing not being as good as expected in 2021. It's just that the goalposts have moved. In ranking the lineups for the race website, Mark Hughes described the combination of Lewis Hamilton and new teammate George Russell as an all-time great and a potential future one, while Scott Mitchell called it a powerhouse pairing.
Really?
Even after suffering his first championship defeat since 2016, there are no question marks over Hamilton's level. He and Verstappen pushed themselves to new heights in 2021. The arrival of Russell will be fascinating. He'll be under pressure to deliver on the expectations of those who believe he can be part of F1's next generation of superstars, battling for races and championships for years to come, with Verstappen, Leclerc, Norris and anyone else special that emerges. His heroics at Williams have backed up his stellar junior career,
which he was really good for Williams
game
too.
At the very front, and Bottas would certainly have a cautionary word or two about how draining it can be taking on Hamilton in the same car. Russell's F1 career up to now has left very few doubts about his performance in qualifying, and his Mr. Saturday tag could give Mercedes a crucial edge over Red Bull, given the doubts we mentioned earlier about Perez. But Bottas was also capable of being a stunning qualifier, then he could go missing in races. Russell could get away with an anonymous Sunday afternoon in a Williams, but there'll be no allowances made at the sharp end with Mercedes. So that's...
It's gonna be interesting. I am so excited for 2022. I really do think, it's gonna be a Super 6 seat. I really do think we're gonna have like a 4 or 5 team battle. I think that McLaren, I think Ferrari, I think Red Bull, and I think Mercedes all have a chance, which with each one of their drivers as well, all to fight for the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' title. Maybe this is just me being optimistic. And then I really do think drivers like Alonso and Vettel, like the experienced drivers on the grid, I feel like with these cars being closer together, the driver becomes the biggest key. And I do think drivers like Alonso and Vettel, even if they're in lesser cars, have a chance to close that gap. Which could then, I think, be a good thing for Daniel Ricciardo because the man loves to overtake. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below on the 2022 F1 driver lineups. Let me know your thoughts on their rankings, what they did, what they didn't like, or what they did that you didn't like or that you did like. And let me know how you guys rank it. I'm glad they didn't do it like individually and that they just kept it to the teams. But if we did like an individual one, let me know what you guys are thinking. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.